What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be spectating random players in Fortnite Zero Build for the final time in Chapter 5 Season 2. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like some more. Comment down below what you've thought of Season 2 or what you think of Season 3 based on the leaks and rumors that we've seen. I will have a review video on Season 2 next week and a video kind of going over what leaks and rumors there are for next season. I know not everybody likes to hear that, though, so I'm not going to get too into it this game. Or in this video. Obviously, we did have Fallout on the news tab, which I feel like that's not too much of like a spoiler for me to say, because if you just open the game, you see that. But we are going to be getting a Fallout collab for next season, and then there's also the kind of sandstorm approaching, getting larger on the south side of the map. That is very exciting. It definitely seems like we are getting the, you know, some sort of post-apocalyptic theme next season. I'm pretty excited for the Fallout collab. Gameplay wise, I don't know, but just as far as cosmetics go, that's one of the few things that I've wanted to see in game. Like if they had like a bunch of defaults and vault suits, I would actually really like that. I enjoyed Fallout 3 in New Vegas, and then also the show that recently came out. I enjoyed watching that as well. We're going Grim for the final time. If you guys have kept up with these videos all season, every time I go Grim, it is a disaster. And people end up playing in the most bizarre way, or trading, and we end up spectating somebody across the map doing who knows what. So we'll see if the final time can be any different. I am excited for change, though. I kind of expect these POIs to be here, but they'll be changed up. Grim Gate Medallion, I don't expect to remain next season. I kind of expect what we had between this season and last, where, like, they kept medallions as a concept, but, like, they changed up the medallions. I think that's what they'll do next season as well. So, probably won't have to be the meta dictated by Grimgate. The Silver Surfer is playing good. I like this. They get top chest. They immediately break down, get dashes, and get the barrels. Unfortunately, the Chains of Hades kind of like grief there. I feel like that's one of like the... He's dead, by the way. There's like a third party on him. Or maybe it's an AI. He's just going to play right shoulder peek here. I would want to just get some damage on this lady. Okay, he's going to go dashes. I feel like the chains kind of costed there, though. When he was fighting the... I don't remember what skin it was. But, like, the chains are very good. But at the same time, like, if you miss one of your attacks, it's just kind of, like, you take way more damage than, like, you probably should. But I don't know if they seem to like using the Chains of Hades. Luckily, they were able to, like, reset that fight and not die. I think that person that pushed them is not a very good player, maybe even an AI. I think they're an AI. And so that's unfortunate. This AI, like, used their splashes. If they play with it too much, it can be dangerous, especially at a POI like Grim, because even if, like, maybe they're not an AI. This is what I was about to say, though, because even if you don't die to that person that's not very good, just kind of like playing with your food can get you like griefed by somebody else, especially at a POI like Grimgate. And so that Silver Surfer seemed decent at the game for sure, but I feel like they were kind of just messing around with that. I don't know the name of that skin, but I feel like they're just kind of messing around with her and like very intent on using the Hades chain, and then that ends up like costing them the game. Okay, so the POI has kind of started to clear down. The Skull Trooper is going to get top here. There is somebody else bottom. I just heard them kind of crouch walking around, but I would want to be starting the boss here if I was the Skull Trooper. I feel like from the moment the game starts, the longer it takes to clear Grim Gate and start the boss, the worse it is for you, because more and more people are going to come in third party. So all this time that this player is like wasting here trying to play safe is actually making their game harder in the long run. Obviously, I didn't know they were going to get third party sniped like that, but my point stands. Like, being scared to take this 1v1 and trying to play that as safe as possible seems safe because you're not actively taking risks, but by not taking risks and not doing anything, you're letting the game kind of stagnate for longer than it needs to. And then because of that, you're going to get more and more third parties coming into Grimgate, and that's going to make it harder for you to clear it in the long run. So I think decisiveness is like very important at a POI like Grim. And like I talked about, the game is probably going to change pretty significantly next season, but I think that concept stands for any like hotly contested POI that is going to be third partied. Like Grim, It's the hottest POI on the map typically, but it's also probably the most third-party POI on the map typically because how much people want the medallion. So like the longer you take just like chilling on top like that, the worse it is for you. And like you got to see that immediately like punished. I jinxed that player. Same thing though. There is a player down here somewhere, but I would rather just kind of like go towards starting the boss and see if they do anything, or start it and then kind of kill a wave or two of the wolves and maybe they push or something, rather than just kind of sitting up here and letting nothing happen. The longer nothing happens, the third parties are going to get here, but there's also probably going to be people that maybe weren't too keen on getting Grim that are like, oh, Grim hasn't been got yet. I guess I'll go over there and get Grim. Like, I think that is how some people think sometimes. Let me know in the comments if you see Grim not taken at all, like late in game or like third zone, which isn't late game, but it's late in terms of like Grim getting obtained, then you're probably going to head over there. Especially if like zone allows. I didn't realize this player had no shield. That's kind of unfortunate. There was a slurp truck back there. I don't know if it's been taken yet this game, but like kind of back over here, there's a slurp truck. He's probably dead here. The waterbender should kill him. He's like using his dashes and dives well to not die there. They like won't let me open the map. There's a slurp truck here. And so, or it's right here actually. And it was still there. I saw it for a moment. So after he got the kill on the Skull Trooper spectating, he probably should have immediately went to that slurp truck. I never looked at this player's HP and realized that they were like no shield. I told you though, it's a mess every time I spectate Grim. Nothing reasonable happens, and so this game just nobody gets Grim, I guess. Purple Gatekeeper, that's huge. So Grim is not going to be in zone, but I would still very much go for it if you're in this situation. Like, it's worth taking a little bit of storm damage. There's enough white heals around the map. You're going to get meat from killing the wolves. Storm is a one tick until like 4th zone. So it's like really not the end of the world to be fighting in storm, as long as you're aware of your surroundings. Players over here. Like right in front of him to the left, if you couldn't see my mouse cursor. Got the cabbage and the coconuts. I feel like what's going to happen is these players are going to fight. One of the winner of that fight is probably going to do a lot of work on getting the boss, and then they're going to get third-partied by somebody else because it's taken way too long into the game. And a good player will know that, like, I can just go get Grem and Storm. It's not the end of the world. And there are some good players that I've seen in the kill feed this match that I like recognize from fighting them. He's gonna fizz. Spectator is buggy with like the red dot weapon sometimes. Okay, you just let that go and you get boss. Just let that go and get boss. If that player has a medallion already, you gotta chase, but like just zoning them off is good. That player is probably gonna come back, but you can get a zone or phase or two of the wolves. And that's what I was talking about earlier about saying like you can get a phase of the wolves here and then just like fight the person. If they had already gotten through phase 1 of the wolves or phase 2, then now that timing that they got from beaming that player, they could maybe like finish off the boss and go about their day. But now they have to be worried about Underworld as well, and they still have gotten no progress on the wolves. That's why I think just like getting progress on it earlier on in the game is nice, because it just like lets you have more freedom in these like later game decisions. It's not like you have to choose between starting the boss and finishing it at that time or not starting it at all. Like you start a little bit, get some damage, get some of the wolves gone, and then fight, and then kind of like keep juggling those two things as the timing allows you to do so. And I feel like just like the Skull Trooper I talked about, this person is playing so safe that it's like kind of detrimental to them in my opinion. Might work out, but like now that Clara is probably going to come back, and this Underworld player hasn't even fought them yet. If they were fighting the wolves and kind of using the wolves to bait out the Underworld player, then I think that person would have been like already eliminated. They get a body shot on the Cora. That's nice. I'm pretty sure it's the Underworld player. Why are you emoting? Homie thought he hit a headshot. I don't know where the Korra went. Waterbending is nice because you can heal in the water. Like, waterbending is just good in general, but for, like, this situation, it'd be nice to be able to heal in the water. You can't heal in the water that's in Storm, but, like, the water that he's in right now, he could heal and kind of just get health while he's, like, eliminating these wolves and stuff. Get some meat, too, though. And now the boss has finally spawned. We are in third zone. Boss might be aggroed onto somebody over there. Yeah. Don't worry about the... Oh, there's a person over there. Okay. Or maybe a visual audio? I'm not sure. I was going to say, don't worry about the wolves. Boss is coming back. Right here, you need to expect this person. He's going to get shot in the back, I think. As soon as you shoot those wolves, you need to expect this other person to, like, try to take advantage of that time. He's dead. 17 health. He kills the boss, but doesn't even get the rewards. Because he waited too long to do so, I guess. It's like a weird mix because it's like waiting too long to do so and worrying about it too much. Like, I feel like he waited too long to do anything about it earlier on in the game. But, like, right there, he was worried about it too much. As soon as he killed the wolves, I feel like getting to the other side of, like, that spike that was to his right and then playing to Elam this player would have been, like, the ideal thing to do. This is the person he beamed that got away earlier, by the way. I told you they would come back. But if the, I don't know the name of that skin. If that, I think it's Goju or something. If that Goju had taken advantage of the timing after beaming this person to, like, get some progression on the boss, I think they, like, legitimately could have gotten that medallion and gotten out of there. They would have had to fight that Korra, but I think that Korra would have been more inclined to push them and make a mistake. I feel like a lot of people overplay themselves when you're fighting the boss or you're fighting the wolves because they think you're too distracted on it. But if you don't, if you fight them and kind of use 10% of your, like, brain power to do that and, like, 90% on, like, worrying about getting third-partied, I feel like it can work out very good for you in terms of getting progression on the boss and getting those people to, like, fight in unfavorable ways because they think you're very distracted. And like I've said many times in this video, things will change next season, but that concept will be a part of the game in the future. Like, I don't know if there will be bosses next season, but there probably will be. There's a crown on the ground here. People recently fought there. The crowns don't last very long. They're in the bush. I don't like this at all. He's dead, I think. I think once they, like, they initially drove past the bush, they should have just went about their day. This player is good. And that's, like, one of the downsides of taking an hour to get Grim Gate cleared. I think that Clara was the one who was low ground when the Skull Trooper was sitting top. But that's one of the downsides of taking an hour to get Grim Gate cleared, is, like, you just get third party into oblivion and then somebody's holding you when you finally come out of zone. Because that person sees, oh, Grim has to come over here. We can just, like, kind of position ourselves to get decent tags and then it's over. Like, Clara didn't need to drive at that bush, though. I don't know what that was. I feel like if she's going to drive at that bush, she should do it immediately. But she, like, kind of did, like, a kind of, like, initial pass. He's just going to get out of the car and shotgun this person, I think. Maybe not. But she did, like, an initial pass, let her car get one shot, and then went for it. GG's. There's not much that person could do. Wasn't the safest way to play that fight, but like I said, this person is good at the game. And so they probably didn't think that Hades was good, so they're just going to, like, key them. Just going to play dumb aggro and get them out of the game. And not let them water bend them or snipe, which I think is fine. 7 opponents remain. Let me see how many shocks this person has. They have 9 shockwaves, no heals. I don't know if they have any of the other medallions. I don't think they do. No, they don't. But they have Grim and Underworld, which I think are the 2 better medallions. They have mythic shotgun and a burst SMG, I assume, with laser on it. I think this player has like really decent chance to win the game, honestly. I'm gonna do some attachments here. I'm not a fan of going no heals. There's like the argument that like this player has Siphon Medallion and they can get heals from players they eliminate, which is true. But I feel like you just limit your options to be able to turn a fight if things don't go well and you end up fighting another decent player. But some people like doing it and it's fine, it works out. But I feel like running no heals works out in situations where you are already going to win the game anyways. Like that's typically like the explanation. I feel like is that like I'm better than everybody in this lobby, so I don't need to run heals. And it's like, okay, maybe, but like, yeah, I don't know. And there is a lot of really high damage potential items in the game that are easy to use. There's the Reapers, are not easy to use, but they can be fluky. Like the Reaper Sniper is more difficult to use now than it was in the past, but you can still get like somebody with lucky body shot on you. And then also the water bending. Like it's possible that someone who's not a very good player can just get like godlike timing on you with the water bending and then do a lot of damage. And even if you end up eliminating that player, it makes it harder to play like potential third parties. Getting patted on. I'm not sure why they gave up top. They want to like shockwave and thunderburst, I think, which is fine. That's probably the better play when you have the burst. Like I like controlling island and beaming people out of the sky as they rift. But if you have the burst SMG, it's a little harder to beam people out of the sky than with the Warforged. And the hipfire on the burst SMG is godlike, as you see. So I think they're just gonna run the same exact thing, by the way. I think they're just going to let this person land, give up top, make that person think that they have control, and then just shockwave, thunderburst, dash with the shotgun, get the kills. This person just rifted. Like, they can just rinse and repeat this play every single time. There's multiple people rifting now, though. Not sure if any of them are coming here, though. I don't hear anything. Like, I don't hear any gliders or anything. That weenie has water bending. This is like golden for them though. There's a player here, there's a player to the right, and there's also another player driving away, and there's only like 5 players total in the game. All these people are so much more likely to focus on each other, and then they can just snipe at them. And if the shots don't hit, it's whatever. They're not like wasting anything. They have max sniper ammo. Even if they fall off island here, they have dashes. Heavy fighting underneath. They can jump off and then dash onto that. I thought he was going to get in the car. I thought he was initially going to get in the car to prevent the weenie from getting in it. They do the pickaxe to get the kill. This should be a kill. Okay. They do the pickaxe, which is great, but with this car, you don't necessarily need to because you can shoot the player from the passenger seat. Like if you're in the passenger seat of that car, you can just ADS your weapon and shoot the driver. The pickaxe is nice in the sense that you don't use your ammo, so you're not gonna have to reload if a close range fight happens. And some people might not notice it, whereas like if they're getting shot, they're gonna be hard focused on that. I also really like one minor thing that would go unnoticed, I think, or might seem accidental, is when the hot dog got out of the car, the player we're spectating waited a decent amount of time to get out and shoot them. And I feel like for people who are more panicking in the fight or don't really know what they're doing, they would just get out of the car and start shooting that hot dog right away. But the reason why this player waited to get out is so the hot dog couldn't just get back in the car right away. Because like if you're doing the pickaxe trick and the person gets out and then you get out and they get back in, it's hard for you to like start doing the pickaxe thing again. It's unlikely you're going to get it the second time. But if you just wait until like they get out of the car, you stay in, keep holding your pickaxe button while the car rolls away from them. And then when the hot dog is no longer within range to get in the car, that's when you get out and shoot them. And it's such a minor thing that goes a long way. And that's why I was saying I think a lot of people would look at it as accidental. Like, oh, he just took a long time to get out of the car. Why was that? It's so the hot dog can't get in right away. It's just like one small little detail that just like further ensures you're gonna get that kill. The Thunderburst is crazy. It's only 50 damage, but like think about how much harder that fight was for that Echo player versus Bird Cell. Oh, they want Zeus. I hate the Zeus medallion. I'm so bad at shockwaving with it. And it's late enough into the game or season where I just don't even care about learning to do it. They have all the medallions now, so this person is going to know exactly where they are. But, like, I think the final person was driving off the height in Mount Olympus, so, like, they're chilling. I honestly think he wants his player to engage on him, and that way he knows where they are, and he doesn't get, like, just sniped or waterbended from who knows where. Like, once the fight starts, he's probably just going to shockwave at them, Thunderburst, and get the kill. Because Thunderburst with laser is just super duper OP. And, like, shockwaving directly at someone, they can beam you, but if your hipfire aim is good and you're actively tagging them with a Thunderburst, it just makes the fight so much more chaotic for them than a lot of players are willing to deal with. And since you have dashes, as soon as you start getting shot, you can just dash and then, like, completely change your shockwave momentum. One of, like, the potential downsides of shockwaves is the player's trajectory can be somewhat predictable at times. And so someone who has good aim could maybe beam them. But when you have dashes just to completely change up your momentum and throw off that player's aim, you kind of have like a bit of like an insurance with that. GG's. Just dash again. Look at how much like calmer the player was spectating is in the fight than this thing. How many people would have walked forward as soon as that bunker got placed and then like get knocked backwards? Like it just seemed like they were doing things quickly and decisively. But they were so much more calm than everybody else because they're comfortable fighting. And that's why I stress so much, like, getting comfortable fighting. That way you're not panicking the moment somebody engages on you. And just, like, the amount of pressure they're putting in the fight. But that is going to be it for this video. Not the most interesting as far as early game goes. But I still think that it can be a decent learning experience for some people in terms of how to play boss POIs or contested POIs. And how, like, people feel like playing safe and doing nothing is safe, but in actuality at times, like, I feel like it can just like completely ruin your game. And then Bird Cell is very good, so might not be as much for people to learn from in terms of like how to play, because like you have to be good enough to like make that playstyle work, you know. But at the same time, I feel like it really just shows one thing that I've emphasized so much on my channel, and just getting comfortable fighting goes such a long way in like improving in this game. But that is going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.